Welcome to Learn Law Better. Are you confused by the facts in Marbury versus Madison? Not sure about the rule of law? In this episode, I will provide you with the background to the case, some key facts, and the rule of law. By the way, if you like this video, it'd be nice if you would hit the share button. Hi, this is Bo Baez, and today I want to delve into Marbury versus Madison, arguably the most important decision ever issued by the Supreme Court of the United States. The case has its beginnings with the election of 1800, when Thomas Jefferson and his political party trounced the Federalist Party of John Adams. During the few months after the election, the Federalist Party took some steps to retain power once Jefferson was sworn into office. One of those steps was to create many more federal judges, all with lifetime appointments. Adams appointed many new judges, the Senate confirmed, and all that was necessary was for the Secretary of State to deliver the commissions to the new judges. But given all the last-minute business in the outgoing administration, the Secretary of State, none other than John Marshall, was unable to deliver the appointments. John Marshall had been appointed to the Supreme Court barely a month before Jefferson became president, but remained Secretary of State at the request of President Adams. Marshall believed the delivery of the commissions was a ministerial task and that the next Secretary of State would deliver them. But Thomas Jefferson would have none of that. He told his Secretary of State to not deliver them, at which point one of the appointed judges, Marbury, sued for his job in the Supreme Court because the Judiciary Act of 1789 gave the Supreme Court original jurisdiction over this case. Specifically, Marbury requested a writ of mandamus, which is an old term for requesting an order. But before the Supreme Court could rule on the case, Congress canceled the Supreme Court's 1802 term, which, by the way, Congress can legally do. The unanimous opinion, written in 1803 by Chief Justice John Marshall, created the principle that today we call judicial review. Marshall divided the case into three issues. First, was Marbury entitled to his commission? Marshall said yes. Second, was Marbury entitled to a legal remedy? Marshall also said yes, as a right without a remedy is not a law. The third issue, which is the most important for our purposes today, is whether Marbury could request the Supreme Court to issue a writ of mandamus under its original jurisdiction. Article 3 of the Constitution grants the Supreme Court original and appellate jurisdiction. Appellate jurisdiction is when lower court decisions are appealed to the Supreme Court, while original jurisdiction under Article 3 is limited to lawsuits by ambassadors and cases where a state is a party. Article 3 is silent on the Supreme Court's authority to issue a writ of mandamus to Marbury. Instead, that authority was found in the Judiciary Act of 1789, legislation passed by Congress and signed by President George Washington. Chief Justice Marshall held that the portion of the Judiciary Act extending the Supreme Court's original jurisdiction was unconstitutional, since Congress did not have the power to expand the Constitution through regular legislation. This decision gave Thomas Jefferson a Pyrrhic victory. Jefferson won the battle, but he lost the war. Marbury did not get his commission, and John Marshall established the principle of judicial review. Judicial review allows the courts to determine what is and is not constitutional. Thomas Jefferson vehemently disagreed with Marshall, but because Jefferson won the case, there was really nothing he could do but complain. Thomas Jefferson actually wanted all the Federalist judges, including Marshall, impeached, but he did not have the backing of Congress for that kind of drastic action. If you'd like to see more episodes that can help you succeed, hit the subscribe button. Also, don't forget to check out learnlawbetter.com, where you'll find more resources to help you get ahead, including my blog, newsletter, and exam bank. Thanks for watching.